Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about, is this time different? Is the correction over? If it's not over, what more could possibly happen? And if it is over, what can we possibly look forward to for the month of December and coming into January? We're going to have a look at a whole bunch of stats, historical data, the charts. But as always, before we jump into that, I'm going to say smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people and does help support the channel there. And of course, thank you for the kind words and encouragement you leave in the comment section below. You take the time to write it, I take the time to read it, and for all the questions that get asked there in the comment section, please be patient. I do get back to those as soon as I am able to, with an emphasis of soon as I am able to. Okay, and if you'd like to engage with me directly in the Discord, the Stocks with Josh Discord, the most amazing people on the planet, you can find the links to sign up for that below in the description of this video. You might have to click on the More button, and then it will pop out, and there will be the Discord there. I am in the crypto channel there daily, and the meme coin channel, the AKA party zone, the party zone as I like to call it. And of course, I have my own Crown Traders channel in there where I'm sharing education, analysis, resources, some of my trade setups, and of course, entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? Okay, so let's jump into it off the bat. I think this is about how a lot of people are feeling today. And I'm going to minimize. I had a little bit of an issue with lighting this morning, so I'm just going to actually take that photo out there, and the show must go on even if the lighting is glitchy. The show must go on, people. The show must go on. It's so over. We're so back. It's so over. We're so back. This is the topsy-tipsy-turvy ride. I don't even know if I said that properly, of crypto. And, we do know that Thanksgiving and Christmas on a halving year has been 3 for 3, 27, 33, 90%. Let's just take the numbers 2012 and 2016. Okay, and we're going to have a look at those numbers in a moment in the chart. So that's the low of Thanksgiving onto the end of through the Christmas rally, so through to the end of December. We're going to have a look at that in a moment. So generally it has been bullish. We're not seeing quite that play out exactly though. And as we see, the January low of the month from previous cycle has come pretty early. So we're going to look at that as well, as far as what historical data we can find to see what may happen in January based on the last halving cycle. And Kevin Svensson says, this time is different. Are you sure? Let's take a look. In 2021, we saw an all-time high. We saw that with 1008. We saw a local top. We saw that just recently. We saw a pullback to the 50 moving average, or 50 EMA in this case. We've seen that, and then gone to a new all-time high. Are we going to see that play out? People say it's different. We're in a super cycle, or we're not in a super cycle. It's going to finish early. What do you think? Are we on track for the 4-year cycle? Are we accelerated a bit? If so, how much are we accelerated by and why? If this is going to turn into a super cycle, how is that going to look? What is your thesis on that? Because back in 2020, on the December the 20th, I look back and there was a drop. There was a drop on December the 20th. You'll see it. So where are we here? There was a drop on this week here. And it was actually a 10% drop, whereas this time we've seen a 15% drop. So pretty much to the day, Bitcoin dropped on December the 20th, 10%. And to the day, it dropped December 20th, 15%. But it recovered that drop. All of that drop was recovered 5 days later. So I'm going to be looking to see if Bitcoin is going to recover that drop, which would mean to be back at $108,000 by December the 25th. Do you think we're going to recover Bitcoin by December the 25th this year? Now, of course, I do want to say that, and then from that drop on December 20th drop, it was a 30% pump to close out. So it continued through December 25th, and eventually by December 31st, Bitcoin had done 30%. Okay, so if we took from the drop, let's just say this does end up being the bottom for the December the 20th, and that candle does end up being the bottom there, which was 92,200, and we did see a 30% jump from there. We did see a 30% jump there. That does take us up to about 100 and is this going to take me up to my target here? It's going to take me up to my target. 30% would take us up to around about that 120,000 region, which is kind of where I have earmarked the Fibonacci's levels there. So that's kind of has been the top for the month. So that would be some move to put in if that was to repeat. If that was to repeat, we're going to see somewhere between around about that $120,000 mark. But first of all, we've got to see if the number one thing that we want to see first is Bitcoin going to recover to 108,000 by December 25th. Do you think that's going to happen? Yes or no? The second thing, if that does happen and it does recover to 108,000, then if history repeated from the last cycle, it would continue up another 12,000 to 120,000. Now, just remember, the low of the month currently in 2024 is the 5th, and the low of the month in 2020 was around the 10th or the 11th there. And so it's interesting to note. And then something more historical, that Bitcoin then, from the high in December, whatever the high was in December, Bitcoin then went and did another 130 to 140%, 130%, where it topped out around March, April time in 2021, April time, I believe. And then obviously came down for a dip, reaccumulation, and then there was a high of 140%. So eventually did that. So I'm going to be looking at what the high is for December. We're going to take around 100%, 130% up from there and see if history will repeat. Now, what's coming up in January? There was a January 3rd drop of 20%. That started on January the 3rd, and it was a bit of a dead cat bounce because it bounced a little bit up, but eventually turned into a 30% drop by January the 22nd. Which had recovered by, it took, what do we see there, 8, 9, about 17 days. It recovered, all of that had been recovered by the 8th of February, and it recovered that January drop that it had. And so that's what we're kind of going to be looking to. And then from there, obviously, it was a 40% pump up to the highs of April 2021 and a 50% pump. So I'll be looking for what the January high is as well. And so stick with me on this channel because we will continue to look at that historical data there. So if we were to look at currently what we know is that if this does, now is this correction over there? Let's jump into the charts a little bit and see what we can see. And ultimately, I'll just play this level to level. Okay, we saw this big capitulation. Is this a black swan event from Fed Powell coming out and making the irresponsible comments that he did? This was some drop in the end there. I believe it was about a 15% drop that we saw from about top to bottom there. Yeah, we did see about a 15% drop there. And so we did see a deeper correction. Maybe that correction still would have happened, but maybe that was heightened by the comments. These are a couple of things that we have to consider. And then we have seen, this is a very bullish candle here, by the way, but we are now having some pressure. This area here of 100K is becoming very difficult to break. So we're kind of back in the range. We were in this range from this 90K up to around this 99, 100K area, and we had this pump out through here, and it was a deviation, and now we're back in the range. And we could, how long are we going to stay in here for? We have some Fibonacci levels. So what we could see from here right now, and we're going to look at the liquidation levels at the moment, but what we can see here is we're struggling with these areas. We're coming down right now, and we're testing this key Fibonacci area. And so for me, I would want to see this level hold. I would want to see a close above this level. And I wouldn't want us to see us retrace this, but it's quite possible we could come back to this 94, 95K level. There is a lot of liquidity there at the moment, and we could come back and eat some of that up. So let's look at the liquidation heat maps. Let's start with the 24-hour time frame here and just have a bit of a look. There is that liquidity down at 94, and this is the first time I've just looked at this. Let's go to jump to the 12-hour, and we do see some liquidity up here at 100K, and we do see some liquidity down here at 94. Of course, there's some right below at 97. Well, if I'm the market maker, I'm coming and taking that liquidity down there at 97,600. And then am I going to go further down to 96? I probably am, to be honest. If I'm the market maker, I'm just going to tell you, I'm not the market maker. This is just what I would do. It doesn't mean that's what the market maker is going to do. And I don't trade solely on this indicator, and I'll show you why in a minute. So if I'm the market maker, I'm going to come down and take that at 96. And at some point, I'm going to come and take this, or I'd want to come and take this up there, but I'd want to see that build up a lot more. If we go to the 24-hour time frame, again, there's that 90. What was that there? That 94 there. And if we go to the 48-hour time frame there, we do see that liquidity down there at 94,000. Not a whole lot, to be honest. And a little bit down there at 90. There's a fair bit at 92 million there. And above price right now to the upside is 99,600. So, I mean, the market maker could come and get that first. That could come and get that first right there. Just pop up above and then pop down again. The 3-day time frame here we're looking at, again, we do have some down there at 92 and some at 99. So it just tends to be in that area that we were visiting between the last 2 days, that $92,000 to $99,000 area. Let's shoot to the 3-month chart here. You can see that there is liquidity down here. Down at 90,000, there is 206 million. And so that's why I was saying it's 88,000, there's 113 million. Down to 81, there's 133 million. Oh gosh, you can just keep coming all the way down. 74,000, there's 206 million. So at some point, the market maker leaves liquidity behind, okay? And you never know when they're just going to say, hey, we're going to go and grab all these levels there, or they just take off from here and that comes and gets gotten down in when we go into a more bigger correction or the bear market or something like that. So it's just very interesting to see. And this is why I never trade solely based on these heat maps. They're just there to help guide with some of the other levels. So you can kind of see we're just very much stuck in this pattern here that we're seeing, and we're very much just trading back in this range for the meantime and waiting to see if we can break out. So if history repeats, there should be a breakout up to back to 108,000 by Christmas. But we're not sure if this cycle is a little bit accelerated and we're going to, and we have a little bit of a jump on the market. I do still think there is a January sell-off coming. We do have to, there are some people saying that the bull market is over, the top was in, and there's some different theories behind that. And you have to always consider that if the top is in here, this is the top. If this cycle is going to finish early and the 4-year cycle is broken, that remains a possibility, but I think that remains the least likely possibility, okay? And I always encourage never to be trading more money than you can afford to lose and to be taking profits on the way up. This would have been a good level to take some profits off the table. These key levels, 108, and then I would say 112. And you just, and how I take profits is I scale out the same way that I scale in. So I built positions during the bear market, during the early stages of the bull market, during the bull market accumulation. I scaled in with dollar cost average buys. Now I'm scaling out of the market with dollar cost average sells on the way up. So this is some areas here that I took some more profit off the table. That doesn't mean I'm completely closing the position, just that what the profits that were there to be taken were taken at this level. And again, once we get up to this level, 112, which I still believe, do I think the top would be in at 108? Look, my original Bitcoin top prediction was between 102,000 and 120,000. thousand. So it was around this level, but I did change that coin. I did change that to be more up around above this 140 to 170 area. I would be surprised if this is the end of the bull run. That would be quite a shocking thing, particularly with a crypto administration coming in with a pro-friendly SEC and a new crypto czar that is also very crypto friendly, which is the exact opposite of what we have now. So that would be surprising if this was the end, but I wouldn't be surprised if the bull market ended in March or April. But I do think it will play out until August, September, October, November, sometime in the fall period of time, the late summer to the early fall situation there. That in that area there would be most likely is what I'm looking at the moment. That doesn't mean there couldn't be a severe correction coming around March or April, which happened last cycle where Bitcoin went from 65 down to around the 30s, and everybody did think the bull market was over. But that's the way I'm seeing it at the moment. And of course, anything changes or in the markets or economically, that can have an impact as well. That's all we have time for today. And as always, until the next episode, happy trading.